approved $300 million in business tax breaks while boosting benefits for the newly unemployed. Would you please talk about how this will impact the 28th district?
The unemployment insurance bill that we were able to get done this week is an amazing victory for all of us in the state of Washington. We're all struggling right now. It's really hard, I think, for anyone to not have a family member or someone who's had pay cuts or job layoffs. And, at the same time, businesses are really struggling to be able to keep their costs down so that they can employ workers. The gist of this bill is that we were able to provide tax relief for businesses who were going to see their tax rates increase. And at the same time, for every new worker who files an unemployment claim starting between March 1st and November 6th, they'll get an extra $25 a week in their paycheck. And what that will help do is drive that money back into the economy. We know from statistics that when folks are laid off, they're not saving their money, they're spending it in the economy. So it'll help businesses by keeping their tax rates at the current level so they won't see big increases, and it'll help unemployed workers to be able to have just that little bit of extra money to pay that light bill or to be able to buy that birthday present for their child and really go back into helping the economy. So we just need to, ensure that folks that live in our district can understand how this will impact our district. As folks become newly unemployed and as businesses struggle, this particular solution that we've reached is really balanced. It's bipartisan, it's balanced. We don't have just a labor Washington or just a business Washington. We have one Washington, and this balanced approach will move us all forward in the recovery effort as we go along.
You're currently sponsoring legislation to provide greater protection for corrections officers. Would you please tell us a little bit about your work?
I've been talking with corrections officers quite a bit over the last few years about what they need in their workplaces to keep them safe. And, even before the horrible, tragic incident we had of our correctional officer, Jamie Bendel, being killed on the job, I had actually already submitted 2 bills for consideration this year. One of the bills actually moved forward today out of committee. It's a bill that does away with mandatory overtime for nurses in the prison system. And nurses came to us and said, it's really difficult to work in this system, and then when they're made to do mandatory time on top of that, their fatigue and the safety is a real problem. And we want to keep workers in our prisons safe. The other bill that has been brought forward from the Department of Corrections is a bill that talks about binding interest arbitration. And I know that's a mouthful, but what that means is it gives the officers the opportunity that when they're talking with their employers about safety issues, that if there's a disagreement, they can bring in a third party to sort of dispute that. When folks have binding interest arbitration, it puts off the table any kind of work stoppages or strikes. So it keeps us safe. It keeps the workers safe because they're able to have some real negotiating level playing field with their employers on how do we keep not only the workers safe, but all of us safe. They're protecting us, and at the same time, they're also trying to do things that will correct the behavior of folks that have been moved from our society. They have a huge job, and I think this binding interest arbitration bill will really help them to be appreciated for what they do for all of us.